Well, confusion for some Wisconsin voters after they received text messages saying their absentee ballot was rejected, and how you can make sure your vote is counted on Election Day.
Plus, Tim Michaels stopped in Middleton on part of his Let's Go to Work tour this afternoon, and we asked how he would run elections if he were governor.
And the last jobs report before the midterm elections is set to be released tomorrow. What experts are saying about the future. That's all coming up right now at 10. We are going to begin with the weather. It is going to get wet and windy over the next couple of days.
2 alert days have been declared for tomorrow and Saturday. For more on this, let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti. Gary?
Well, it's hard to believe we're going to see a lot of rain and a lot of wind over the next couple of days after a day like today. Take a look at the time lapse from the WISC Skycam. Lots of sunshine this morning, a little more cloud cover this afternoon, but still temperatures were well into the upper 60s and lower 70s. And as we check out Doppler track right now, starting to see some showers and thunderstorms develop pretty rapidly across parts of Minnesota and Iowa, but 6-hour future track radar takes those to the north and east of us. High temperatures today, well above normal. 71 Madison, 70 in Mineral Point, 72 in Boscoville. That's 71 high in Madison is 20 degrees above average. And current temperatures are still in the mid-60s to around 70 degrees. Here in Dane County, we're seeing those temperatures in the mid-60s, 64 in Verona, 65 in Wanakee. But we have alert days in the forecast for tomorrow for heavy rainfall, about 2 inches. Some areas west of Madison could see a little bit more. And then on Saturday, it's strong winds. We could see wind gusts 45 miles per hour or greater, especially through the day. The best chances for the highest winds will be east of Madison. Otherwise, look for skies to be mostly cloudy for tonight. Any showers will develop well west of Madison by early on Friday morning. Otherwise, look for a low temperature of around 60 degrees. But again, rain and wind for the next couple of days. I'll have the timing on that in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Gary. Integrity in the voting process is at the forefront of this election, which is why a text not from an official saying your absentee vote is rejected could cast doubt or lead to a whole lot of confusion.
Our Armand Rahman finds that's been happening to a few Wisconsin voters recently.
Yeah, Brady and Charlotte, experts tell me texts like this are actually fairly common and technically legal. The Wisconsin Elections Commission does make data on voter registration and absentee ballots available for groups to purchase, but there are official tools to verify any of these texts right at your fingertips.
So I just arrived out of state on a project for work.
A week after his absentee ballot was marked as accepted, Price County resident Damian Wilson's phone buzzed.
The text said that it was from the Republican Party and that my ballot was rejected. It was very confusing.
Checking on Reddit and Twitter, he found he wasn't the only one who got the exact same message.
Whether or not it was actually the Republican Party, I don't know. And I didn't know if this was an attempt to cause confusion and make people doubt the election, or if it was an intent to make me try to vote in person the day of the election, even though I had already voted.
But according to Madison Deputy Clerk Jim Verbick, groups pay for absentee voting data sometimes daily.
I've had a group contact me and say, hey, I see you haven't returned your ballot yet, and maybe provide information on how to do it.
But you can find out all of that by heading to the myvotewisconsin.gov website and clicking Track Your Ballot.
You can look at the process of your ballot when you submitted the request, when our office processed the request, when we mailed the ballot, when we would expect the Postal Service to deliver the ballot.
Still, the most important part of the election process remains confidential.
What nobody can request is how you vote on your ballot. Ballots are secret. We don't open absentee ballots that have been returned to us until Election Day.
Verbick says to always verify any third-party info about your ballot. And that's exactly what Damian did. He checked the MyVote website and also called the clerk of his precinct. Both said his absentee ballot was still listed as accepted.
It's possible it was a genuine effort to try to help people, but at the very least, all I think it managed to do was cause concern and confusion about a voting method which is very safe and secure.
Now, Verbick says if there is a real issue with an absentee ballot, like a missing voter or witness signature or witness address, city clerks won't reject it at this point in time, but send the ballot back to the voter to correct. Absentee ballots have to be at the polling place by 8 p.m. next Tuesday.
Republican Tim Michaels wants to make big changes to how the state runs its elections. Today, he said that he wants to work with the Republican legislature to do things like eliminate the indefinitely confined status for voters, something that received criticism from conservatives during the pandemic. But he also shared more on what he would like to replace the state's current elections commission with.
Well, I'm going to replace it with a group I'm going to call it the Wisconsin Election Integrity Group. It'll have representation from all 8 congressional districts, and we are going to make sure that the people of Wisconsin are confident that we have election integrity here in the state of Wisconsin.
Who will appoint them?
Right now, the governor and legislative leaders appoint members to the state's bipartisan commission. Michaels did not say who would appoint the members of this new board he's proposing, but it would likely have a partisan lean. Republicans represent 5 out of the 8 congressional districts in the state.
One of the top elections officials in Milwaukee is out of a job today, just 5 days before the midterms. We found out today Milwaukee Election Commission Deputy Director Kimberly Zapata ordered 3 absentee ballots to be sent to a state representative. Mayor Cavalier Johnson fired her this morning, calling her actions an egregious violation of trust. Zapata ordered the ballots through a special process available to military voters.
Military voters are not required to register to vote. They are exempt from providing photo ID or any other type of ID information. And so it is my belief that she was pointing out that you can go onto the public system, make up a person, and request a ballot.
A federal law actually requires states to make it easier for military voters to cast their ballots. In a statement today, Megan Wolf, the state's top elections official, says that election fraud remains extremely rare and is quickly discovered when it occurs.
The Bureau of Labor Statistics will release the October jobs report tomorrow. It is the last major read of the economy ahead of the midterm elections. Some economists are predicting the hot labor market could be cooling, and that's something we're already seeing from some major companies that announced future layoffs and hiring freezes this week. Jen Sullivan looks at the current job market and what some economists are saying about the future.
It's been a job seekers market. In 2021, job growth skyrocketed to 6.7 million. But by 2022, that growth has slowed considerably. All indicators that the once hot labor market could be cooling off.
There have been an increasing number of companies that have announced hiring freezes, in addition to other cuts to try to bring expenses down.
Just this week alone, a handful of companies announcing upcoming layoffs and hiring freezes. On Thursday, Lyft said it would lay off nearly 700 workers, roughly 13% of its staff. Layoffs also looming at Twitter, where new CEO Elon Musk is expected to cut 50% of the social media company's 7,500 workers. And Amazon saying they'll pause corporate hiring for the next several months.
Hiring typically trends around how financially robust a company is and how they're feeling financially.
All these bleak economic headlines coming ahead of a highly anticipated jobs report. The Bureau of Labor Statistics will release October job numbers Friday. It's the last major read of the economy ahead of the midterm election. And according to a recent CNN poll, the most important issue facing likely voters, 51% saying the economy and inflation. And some economists worry we're headed into a recession.
Just about every other measure suggests that recession is more likely.
Jen Sullivan, News 3 Now.
If you were looking for a new job, there is some good news. Liz Ann Saunders says average wages are up and people who switch jobs are likely to be paid more than if they stayed at their current place of employment and asked for a raise.
Paul Pelosi, the husband of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, is back home after being released from the hospital. He had surgery to repair a skull fracture and injuries to his right arm and his hands. David DePapi is charged with breaking into Pelosi's home and attacking him with a hammer last week. He's pleaded not guilty to the charges against him. DePapi is also facing a federal charge for attempting to kidnap a U.S. official. Gabby Petito's family is filing a lawsuit against Utah police over a traffic stop they say police mishandled. The family believes the officers could have prevented Gabby's death. In August last year, 2 officers responded to a fight between Petito and her fiance, Brian Laundrie. Officers did not arrest Laundrie, but separated the two for the night. Petito disappeared soon after, and her body was later found in Grand Teton National Park. Laundrie died by suicide and admitted to killing Petito in a note.
Police say a person is in custody after crashing into two law enforcement vehicles while trying to escape a police chase. This happened between the West Broadway and John Nolan Drive exits going westbound. Authorities say the suspect got out of the vehicle and ran away before trying to carjack a taxi at a nearby business. They were taken into custody a short time later. Two MPD officers were injured and hospitalized as a precaution. Both are expected to recover. Madison police are asking for your help in finding a person they say scammed an elderly couple out of several $1000s. Investigators released this photo of the suspect. They were wearing a black baseball cap, jeans, and a black long-sleeved shirt, and they also have a tattoo of a bat or Batman logo on their neck. If you see this person, please call police at the number on your screen.
There's a new commander-level position at the Madison Police Department. Dr. Lee Hunt started working as the Police Director of Data, Reform, and Innovation on Monday. His role will focus on overseeing the records section and crime analysis and criminal intelligence sections.
We want to implement and apply those crime reduction strategies and those community engagement strategies that work, that reduce crime without having to increase arrests.
The position was allotted for in the last city budget.
The DNR prepares for gun deer season, what they're saying about this year's harvest.
Plus, what MMSD is investing some of its COVID relief money in, and why it's music to many people's ears.
I'm Mandela Barnes, and I approve this message.
All units, all units. Reports of an abortion at Central Hospital. Officers needed to detain doctor.
If Ron Johnson has his way, he wouldn't just ban abortions. Doctors could go to jail for it. And Johnson's tried for over a decade. He even co-sponsored a bill with no exceptions for rape, incest, or the life of the woman. And said if women don't like an abortion ban, they can just move. But it's Ron Johnson who doesn't belong in Wisconsin.
Creating family memories is what Maple Leaf Landscaping is all about. We design and build outdoor spaces that bring people together. Landscaped spaces for any size family. Functional, beautiful, a place everyone will enjoy. And it all starts with a free visit at your home by one of our landscape experts. So call Maple Leaf Landscaping today and have us create an outdoor living space for your home.
And I don't want the world to see me.
Nothing to do.
You should check out Ho Chunk Gaming Madison, home with a 95% average payout.
And with so many slot machines, there's a game for every kind of player.
They're right, honey. And with new promotions and reward club perks all the time, there are more ways to win than ever before.
Find your fun and visit Ho Chunk Gaming Madison today.
Ho Chunk Gaming Madison.
Now, what is happening?
Think crime is bad now? Mandela Barnes would make it worse. Barnes would eliminate cash bail even after the Waukesha Christmas parade attack, supports amnesty and sanctuary cities for illegals, and had worked for a radical group that wants to defund the police. Barnes has a long record of smearing police while spending your tax dollars on security for himself. Mandela Barnes, wrong on crime, dangerous for Wisconsin. Senate Leadership Fund is responsible for the content of this advertising.
As Campaign 2022 approaches the finish line, News 3 Now presents a special midterm election preview.
We're spotlighting key races and issues, fact-checking candidates, and hearing the voices of voters in battleground Wisconsin.
Saturday at 7 p.m. on News 3 Now.
Welcome back. The Madison School District is using federal COVID relief dollars to bring music to our ears and smiles to our students' faces.
As Nicole Herzog explains, MMSD is using some of the funding to buy new instruments for students. Nicole?
Yeah, nearly $1.4 million of federal COVID relief funds are being used to bring instruments to every MMSD elementary, middle, and high school. And at Madison Memorial High School, it's the first time since 1967 that they've been given new instruments. $98,000 were set aside for Memorial to fill their band room with clarinets, trombones, and more. Teachers were able to request what kinds of instruments they wanted, and Memorial's band teacher says these instruments were desperately needed.
I remember being that kid, you know, I wanted to play on something that functions and is brand new and shiny. It makes you want to play more, and when you practice more, you get to love music more.
The instruments have been coming in since May. Supply chain issues have slowed down the process, but Memorial's band teacher says he expects all the equipment to be delivered by the summer. Students tell me these new instruments are giving them opportunities they've never had before, and the new additions positively impact their confidence when playing.
Nicole, thank you. The DNR is preparing for the upcoming gun deer season. Today it held a briefing answering questions and giving a general overview. This year, opening weekend begins November 19th, one of the earliest starts because it tracks with Thanksgiving, and that puts the hunting season closer to breeding season.
And that can also positively affect natural deer movement over opening weekend, of course, depending on what the weather is going to be. And everyone will be checking the long-term forecasts for every day between now and the 19th, you know, hoping for that ideal weather conditions for opening weekend.
He estimates around 560,000 hunters will be out looking to bag that trophy buck.
Wow, and I think a lot of us will be hunting for some better weather because we have 2 alert days in the forecast over the next few days.
Take it away, Gary.
I remember my first job up in Rhinelander being at the DNR station for the opening of the gun deer season, so it brings back very pleasant memories. And it was always cold up there, and this year, oh boy, who knows what it's going to be, because we've had crazy weather over the last couple of days. We've had 3 days with temperatures in the 70s and unseasonably mild weather. Now we have alert days in the forecast for tomorrow for the potential for heavy rain. A general 1.5 to 2 inches of rain over much of southern Wisconsin. There could be some heavier amounts of 2 to 3 inches or more, especially west of Madison. But all of southern Wisconsin is going to get a good soaking over the next 36 hours or so. And then on Saturday, once the cold front passes through, the rain chances really go down, but the winds come up, and we're seeing wind gusts expected to be somewhere in the 45 to 50 mile per hour range, and that's for all of southern Wisconsin as well. The highest chances of seeing the stronger wind gusts will be from Madison on toward the east. High temperatures today didn't look like the first part of November. Highs lower 70s through much of southern and eastern Wisconsin, mid to upper 60s to the north and west where there was a little more cloud cover, but colder weather is lurking just off the map to the west. Doppler track shows showers and thunderstorms breaking up pretty rapidly over the last few hours across Minnesota and into the Twin Cities area. A couple of thunderstorms now starting to cross over into west central Wisconsin, and behind that it changes to snow. That's where the colder air is lurking. But the cold air is not coming this way very quickly, and the front that divides the two is going to hang up across southern Wisconsin. So you're going to see waves of showers and thunderstorms like this moving closer to us. This is for the next 6 hours, so it will stay dry overnight. But with time, we're going to see that rain continuing to come in from the south and west. You can see the precipitation just starting to break out here. Strong thunderstorms may be developing over parts of Kansas and Oklahoma in the next couple of hours. Cold front here, an area of low pressure to the west. That's what's generating the showers and storms. A second area back in Colorado will head northeastward. That's what will give us the strong winds on Saturday. Short-term temperatures well above normal. Still 65 Madison, 68 in La Crosse. Other side of the front, temperatures mid-30s across western Minnesota. Future track beginning now. You can see the first batch of showers and storms staying to the north and west. Early tomorrow morning, few showers developing. One round of rain in the morning, another in the afternoon, another one in the evening, and then once we get into Saturday morning, here comes the cold front, actually from the southwest. So the winds out of the south will shift to the southwest. That'll take the rain with it. There could be a couple of isolated thunderstorms along that front, but then as that blasts to the north and east, the winds pick up behind it, and that's where we have the really strong winds. Eventually, as the whole system lifts to the north and east, we'll look for the winds to shift to a more westerly direction by Sunday, and that will actually bring temperatures back up to around 60 degrees on Sunday. Tomorrow, breezy, not as mild, showers and thunderstorms, especially late morning into the afternoon. High 64 early with steady temperatures through the day. Future track, again, notice how the showers and storms come in during the morning. That's noontime. This is the afternoon. Another wave into tomorrow evening. And then as we get into late tomorrow night, that's when that cold front comes through. Notice the temperature drop off behind the front on Saturday. They drop into the 40s by late in the afternoon. Rainfall amounts 2 to 3 inches, maybe a little bit more more south and west of Madison, across southwestern Wisconsin, and those wind gusts perhaps as high as 40 to 45 miles per hour, even stronger across much of southern Wisconsin during Saturday. After that, 7 to 10 day forecast, dry for Sunday, Monday, and Election Day Tuesday. Another cold front on Thursday with some showers. By Veterans Day, we start turning colder, and highs only around 40 for next weekend.
Wisconsin men's basketball player Tyler Wall is looking to help promote the Badgers' upcoming Brew City Battle game as the regular season approaches. Today, he stopped by Buffalo Wild Wings in Fitchburg to meet with fans and sign autographs. On November 11th, the Badgers will head to American Family Field in Milwaukee to take on the Stanford Cardinals.
I know our program's really been pushing for it for a while, so I'm really excited. You know, we get fans from all over the country, not just the same people that are coming to the Kohl Center, so we get more of an outreach to the Badger fans across the state.
The UW women's basketball team will face off against Kansas State prior to the men's game. Tickets for the event start at $19 and can be purchased by visiting brewers.com/Badgers.
And coming up in sports, make it 11 straight for Badger volleyball. How Wisconsin swept their way to another Big Ten win. That's next on News 3 Now.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
It was Halloween. My daughter stopped at 3 homes, her girlfriend's house, her teacher's house, and the man that murdered her. He molested her and he put her in a garbage bag. He was going to be released in 2018. Josh Call, he was not there for me at all. You want some help to find out what's going on, and he doesn't help. He don't care about the victims. I know Eric Toney does. Eric Toney helped keep that man that murdered my daughter from being released. Eric Toney's always been there for me, and that's the kind of attorney general we need.
DePaco Credit Union members are better together because together members share thank yous, a DePaco-only perk that thanks members in cash. And because you're not just a member, you're also an owner, everyone benefits. How will this year's nearly $3.7 million in thank yous benefit you and your community? Since 2016, DePaco members have shared nearly $24.4 million. We truly are better together. Join the movement where your member ownership pays. Visit your nearest DePaco branch or join online at depaco.com.
There will always be bumps in the road, but we got guts, America. We got freedom. We got power. We got future. So let's drive on and make the future we want to see together. Because your new Ford vehicle is just the start of a journey. So stop by your Ford dealer today and claim one of the thousands of new Ford trucks and SUVs on their way. We've been building this country for 119 years, but we're just getting started.
You protected our rights, preserved our freedom. You may have even risked your life for us. Now, it's our turn to fight for you. Your local Wisconsin emergency, energy, and housing assistance providers, and the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund reward the service of our veterans with rental and energy support in their time of crisis. Apply today to get the fresh start you've earned.
Non-attorney spokesperson. This is a paid advertisement for legal services sponsored by Nightline Legal. Cases assigned on a random basis to participating law firms.
If you or a loved one were stationed at Marine Corps Base Camp Lejeune between 1953 and 1987 and were later diagnosed with cancer, Parkinson's disease, or other serious health effects, call right now. You may be entitled to financial compensation. Call right now to find out if you qualify.
Call 1-800-336-0524. 1-800-336-0524.
A 12-year-old girl can't legally drive a car. At 12, she can't even vote. But if this little girl were tragically raped or a victim of incest and became pregnant, Radical Tim Michaels would force her to deliver the baby. He said it's, quote, not unreasonable for the state government to mandate rape victims to give birth. Would it be unreasonable if he were forcing this on you? Let him know on Election Day.
During their 10-match win streak in the Big Ten, only one team took Wisconsin to 5 sets. Not top-ranked Nebraska, not number 12 Penn State, but unranked Illinois. That was at the Fieldhouse. Tonight's round 2 between the two, and the Badgers were popping champagne in Illinois. Already up a set, they set up Sarah Franklin, and the reigning defending Big Ten Player of the Week hammers it home. Team high 14 kills for Franklin. Then in the third set, the Badgers call on their closer. Devin Robinson gets up to get down, and Wisconsin sweeps Illinois 3-0. Both the Middleton girls and boys volleyball teams advanced to the state tournament, but both came up short today in the quarterfinals. Boys state soccer, defending Division II champs Oregon taking on Waukesha West in the semifinals, and the Panthers had a nice little first half. 16th minute, Noah Malcook comes flying in and uses his right foot to put Oregon up 1-0. They scored 3 goals in the first half. Oregon heads back to the D2 final with a 3-2 win. They'll face Whitefish Bay on Saturday. And for the second time in the last 4 seasons, Verona is on to the Division I final. They took down Hamilton thanks to a 4-goal second half. Nick Herbig and Kamo'i Latu share a love for football. It brought them together and eventually to Wisconsin. But their bond, or as they like to call it, a brotherhood, goes beyond the sport. And it starts in their home state of Hawaii.
Pressure from Herbig, and Nick Herbig throws him down.
A long way from Camp Randall.
Throws, and it's intercepted by Kamo'i Latu.
Football brought Nick Herbig and Kamo'i Latu together in high school. When did you know that you guys would be best friends?
I mean, we really just met like summer of football, our freshman year. Nick was new.
All these guys like know each other, and so they're all in their little cliques or whatever, and I'm just over there like by myself with my grandpa like before practice, like sitting up against the fence.
And the two were inseparable until college, when Nick left Hawaii for Wisconsin.
The night before Nick left, me and him had like a little bro date at one of our favorite spots we like to eat at.
And Kamo'i went to Utah.
And we would FaceTime every day, every night.
2 years later,
we always wanted to play football together as long as we could. And, you know, the opportunity presented itself, and I kind of just gave him a call and told him, like, man, like, I think this is a place for you.
How much convincing did Nick have to, you know, get you to come here?
We would joke around about it. I'll be like, what's up? Like, I'll tell Nick, like, what's up? Like, tell your coaches, like, what's up? Like, but, you know, even to this day, we'll talk about it, like, man, it doesn't even really feel real that, like, we're here, the same college, playing together.
Living together.
We share a room.
Yeah, we share a room.
And sharing their culture.
My mom made spam musabis for the whole team on the airplane, and I think that was like something special that we wanted to do, just to give somebody, like, people a taste of like kind of things we eat.
Look at the bag.
It's a blessing to share, you know, our culture and the way we live in Hawaii, and I feel like that plays a big part, you know, in me and Nick, you know, just keep moving forward, you know, with football and, you know, with school. That keeps a drive under us because we know we come from a special place.
The game day fit that you guys wore, I think you've worn it more than once, but I saw a picture of you two wearing it. How much pride do you have in wearing that?
Dressing him up in, you know, my cultural attire, you know, it meant a lot. Like, even before we stepped off the bus, like, seeing Nick walk in front of me, my eyes were watering. And yeah, it's just, you know, it's just something special, you know, just it's family.
I don't even think blood could make us closer. And just getting his blessing for him and his grandma and his dad, you know, kind of just all of them letting me know, like, you can wear this, like, go ahead. You know, kind of meant a lot to me.
And this family is now representing Hawaii on college football's biggest stage.
You know, just because we're from Hawaii, just because we're from a little island with 60,000 people, like, you can still do it. It doesn't matter where you come from. Like, if you work hard, man, and you dream big, that anything's possible. You know, I'm living proof.
So you ball out in high school, you're balling out in college. What's next?
That would be such a dream. Crazy. You know, we're on the same NFL team. Probably living together again. Maybe not sharing a room. You know, I probably want my own room. But
yeah, he snores too loud.
Pressure from Herbig. Down goes Anixted, courtesy of Nick Herbig.
Just two kids from small islands in the middle of the ocean, you know, spreading our culture. You know, it's a blessing.
Down he goes. Come